Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Allie and I'm a domestic wannabe. And what that means is I'm basically just trying to navigate working from home as a mom, as a stay-at-home mom, and just trying to stay on top of everything, work, life, fun, and keeping my house pulled together so that if company unexpectedly dropped by, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I am someone who takes a lot of pride in my home, and I tell you, lately it's not always a place I would openly invite my friends over just because I'd be embarrassed of the piles and the clutter. So I like to, what I've been trying to do this last year is really find a routine that works for me. And what I have found is I've tried a few different routines, but I found that to start off 2023, I had to go back to my roots, go back to where it really all started, and that is with the FlyLady cleaning system. So if you've watched any of my videos in the past, I completed FlyLady's 31 baby steps, and then I had a little trouble sticking with the whole program, so I tried some different ones. But the 31 baby steps really played a big role in the last year for me, and it really made me feel good. So one of the things I'm really trying to focus on is the decluttering, and that was my favorite part of her baby steps. And if you see where that arrow is pointing, I created a little decluttering chart, and that is basically a square for each day that I want to do 15 minutes before my birthday. And my birthday is in May, so my goal is to have that whole sheet of paper filled in with 15 minutes a day. Now I want to give you guys a little feedback on how I tend to work and how I'm giving myself some grace in regards to decluttering. So FlyLady says to declutter 15 minutes a day, and I will tell you, if you have not tried it, it is a fantastic way to start. You will see huge progress. And this is one of the reasons I really fell in love with the FlyLady system, was 15 minutes a day of decluttering. So I've decided that's the big thing I wanted to get back to. So that's the reason for my chart there. And with the way my life works, with how I work, some days I don't get my 15 minutes in. And then some days I have, Wonder Woman energy, and I can do 3 or 4 or 5 15-minute sessions. And FlyLady really kind of focuses on, or says somewhere, if you miss a day, then you wash the day away, you start brand new the next day. You don't have to add them all together, all these decluttering sessions. And I completely agree with that. But for me, there's days that I have Wonder Woman powers and I can do 5 15-minute sessions, or 3 or 2. So I'm kind of using this chart as a way of tracking that. So the days that I do my 15-minute session, I fill in a square completely filled in. If I do extra, so if I do 2 extra sessions on that day, I go back to a day I didn't complete my 15 minutes and I fill it in halfway. Now that's not to say I get like a half credit on it. It's that I can just track, there are days I don't have the energy to do what I want to get done, and I have to focus on what is my priorities. And decluttering is a priority, but for me, it's okay if I get a few sessions done in one day as opposed to doing them every single day and then beating myself if I miss a day. So this is kind of my whole thought process, and where I had to decide I needed to give myself some grace so that the days I miss, I'm not penalized. And the days I have energy, that's awesome. I get to count them, but I don't have to, if I miss today, I don't have to expect myself to do 30 minutes tomorrow. It could be a week from now that I suddenly have energy and I get the extra 15 minutes in there. But I have now like 5 months to maybe go back and do an extra 15 minutes here and there that fills in where it fills in. And that's my grace. There's no hard, fast rules. It's just a way for me to track what I am getting done. and how much I'm getting decluttered before my birthday. Now, I have a pretty lofty list you will see at the end of this video. Now, if you've been watching, you saw me start this kitchen in two different wardrobe changes, and that's because it was 2 different days. One night I got so gung-ho, got the kitchen all tidied. You can see I did my hand wash that's still drying next to the air fryer there, and somehow I woke up to a whole sink load full of dishes. This is where I really started to realize the clutter is holding me back. And that's why my focus is changing a bit once again to be on a declutter mission. And I know it doesn't necessarily go with what FlyLady says, but I'm I'm getting as much of her other tasks during the day done as I can with the focus of that declutter and keeping up on my general house maintenance of doing the dishes, which is whether that sink is full or not, I really do dishes pretty daily. We just have a lot of dishes, and doing laundry and getting healthy meals cooked. I mean, the list of things that we as domestic wannabes have is really astronomical when you think about it. And it's really finding those priorities and being content with getting what you can get done. And I'm finding that by just taking that layer of, the word I'm trying to find is that layer of all or nothing. It's not a layer. It's just that all or nothing mentality that if you followed me, you know I have. And that is something I've decided I need to work on. I need to work on just getting things focused. So as I realized doing 2 days of cleaning the kitchen and spending quite a bit of time doing it each day, I needed to go back to decluttering because clearly something's not working if that much stuff is on the counter each day. And FlyLady says you cannot clean, you cannot organize clutter. You can't organize clutter. So we're going back to these basics, and the decluttering is starting in the kitchen. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about why I've picked this area again in my next video. Again, I did some talking that is going to be in there. But as you can see, I just started with some simple drawers. This is the first 15 minutes. Because I have done the kitchen several times, but with FlyLady, I've already decluttered the kitchen. Drawers are a mess, cabinets are a mess, but what I have found with this experience is it took me less time than it did the first time, than the second time. Decluttering all of this, like we're still on that first 15 minutes of decluttering, and I have done 3 drawers, and now I've moved on to a cabinet that's full of containers, my container cabinet, you could say. So it's going so much faster, and I'm still getting rid of things because each time you do this, you might realize I don't use this at all. And I still have a lot of items. You're going to see, I had already done this, but I somehow didn't record it. That bottom shelf, that is full of things that I don't necessarily use right now, but as my son gets older, I know I'm going to be packing lunches. I'm going to need some of these things. So I'm still kind of holding on to a few things that are in here. I do have a little wish list of some things, new things that I want. I really love clear containers. So some of my mixing bowls, as much as I like them, I really would like to get some clear ones. But this is just one of those things. Again, I am holding on to a few things for the sheer fact of I know one day I am going to need them. So we're starting in the kitchen. We're back to basics. We're back to the main room that we use most often in this house, and that's the kitchen. So enjoy this little compilation of kitchen decluttering. brought me to the place I go every single morning, and that is my little coffee station. And if you've been around for a while, you know I keep one of my Rose Forever bouquets right here to inspire me to keep this space nice and tidy and absolutely beautiful. So for the new year, I put in gold, sparkly bulbs that I just thought looked so pretty down in the drawer that my clear box of Rose Forever flowers had. And I still have those little fairy lights in there as well because it just looks so beautiful in the evenings, all lit up. But of course, anything that sparkles is for me, but I have to realize glitter is always somewhere in my home. So I gave that a quick wipe down. And for Valentine's Day, I found a brand new Kit Kat flavor, and I thought these would look so cute in this drawer to go for Valentine's Day. So I put these little, I think they're like a strawberry flavored Kit Kat. They're super tasty. If you see them at the store, get them. But I just thought they looked so cute in the bottom of my Rose Forever drawer as they sat on my counter. And every now and then I get to have a little treat, which I love. So my Rose Forever flowers, I got this bouquet before Thanksgiving, and look how beautiful and perfect they still look. My September flowers are going strong right on my bedstand, or on my nightstand. Every morning I'm greeted by them, and I just think they are absolutely gorgeous. And with Valentine's right around the corner, they are a perfect gift. So if you are giving anybody some hints on what they should be ordering, send them a link to Rose Forever. I have linked them below, but send them a link and let them know if they use code Allie25, they can get $25 off their order. So an absolutely great Valentine's gift to give or to gift to yourself. They are hands down one of my favorite flowers. I don't have to worry about changing water or doing anything to make sure they stay beautiful. They just stay beautiful for up to a year. I highly recommend checking their website out and getting yourself or someone some Rose Forever flowers today. As you can see, I am moving from cabinet to cabinet, just decluttering, retidying, so things can go back to their homes like they're supposed to. And I kept this little part in. If you saw, I was holding those snow cone syrups, which I assume they do have an expiration on them, and that's what I was looking for. I assume because they're basically sugar water, they would be fine even past the expiration date. But I bought these at least 2 summers ago, and I opened them up to see if they'd been opened. One had, so I figured that's past the expiration. I'll for sure throw that one. But maybe I should hold on to these other ones because the seal hasn't been broken. And I then thought a little deeper, and I know this is in a little faster speed, but I thought a little deeper too. I have not used these in 2 summers. Last summer we did not open these. If I want to make snow cones, I will go buy more syrup for $2.50, whatever it is. Not that I want to be like wasteful, but the reality is they are taking up space, and I want that space back. So I got rid of them. And I'm sharing this because I've held on to them for over 2 summers and we barely use them. So maybe snow cones aren't our thing. Like, it's just a fact of reality. So I don't know if you guys are like me and you find, cans of food or things that you grabbed thinking you were going to use them and you just haven't. And I know there's a few things in my pantry. Case in point, some tahini. I was determined to make hummus. Have not made the hummus yet, and I bet that tahini has also expired, but for some reason I'm still holding on to it because I haven't opened the jar. So there's things like that I am really working on myself to move past holding on to. It's time to let them go. It's time to set them free. Before you throw them away, I recommend checking with a local food bank to see if they accept those kind of things. I don't know all the rules on expired canned goods, things like that. I know I've heard so many different things in regards to them being safe to eat. They're just fine. So you have to go with your judgment on that. But I did decide these snow cone syrups no longer could stay rent-free in my cabinet. Now, I was moving on the lower cabinets and I did get to the pots and pans, and I'll be honest, I looked at my 15-minute time limit and I decided I didn't have time to do the pots and pans, so I passed them. And that's one of those things of, I knew if I jumped into it, and it's something that FlyLady has talked about, don't take out more than you can do in a X amount of time. I couldn't mentally and physically do the pots and pans that day. There's a lot of them. For whatever reason, because of their price, they are harder for me to let go of. They are pretty expensive pots and pans. So they've been a challenge for me to declutter. So I wasn't ready for it. So I just closed that cabinet and I'll get to it another day. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. So you can see that chart is getting filled in. It looks like on that day I did 1 hour and 15 minutes. And that's just one way of me tracking how I'm getting things done. Now, I'm also color coding, so green is kitchen. And you'll see as we continue on, I use different colors for different spaces, and I just have a key on the back so I can see where I've spent my time, what spaces took me the most time, that kind of thing. But in 1 hour and 15 minutes, I got a lot of drawers and a lot of cabinets done. This is my complete decluttering and cleaning goal list. I told you I was trying to get rid of paper clutter. So this is an electronic checklist I have with Artful Agenda. And I absolutely love it. But I went back to the list and was super excited to go check some things off. But technically, I didn't finish the upper cabinets because I still have a baking cabinet I didn't get to. The lower cabinets weren't done. I still have a few drawers. I haven't done the pantry, the freezer, the fridge, the outside freezer, the prep closet. So I actually didn't get to check anything off today, which is usually very therapeutic for me. But I wanted to show you I still got tons done, even though I didn't fully complete one of my checklist items. I know it's all coming together, and that's what feels really good. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more tomorrow or in my next video about what I am kind of where my headspace is. But I wanted to just thank you guys for joining me on this journey, and I hope you continue on with me. All right, you guys, I will see you in just a few days. Thanks. Bye-bye.